Now, in the F1 community, there have been many challenges throughout the F1 games, and a lot of them have revolved around zero AI. And because they are so unbelievably bad, they have produced content like trying to beat AI pissing every lap, or using every set of tyre, or not pissing at all. Other challenges that for some reason also involve pitting quite a lot. But throughout my binge of watching this content on YouTube, there was one challenge that I realised I don't think anyone's ever actually done, mainly because it is ridiculously difficult to do, as I've learned in this video. Everyone's always trying to beat zero AI whilst doing something stupid that obviously has to hinder them. But this got me thinking, if I was pushing to the best of my ability, how much of a restriction would I have to put on myself to actually lose to zero AI? Now, if anyone has raced against a zero AI on this game, or you know what, just any F1 game, I genuinely don't know how anyone can possibly lose to them. They're not actually slow in the sense that their top speed is just lower, or even that their acceleration is bad, but they do have a tendency to brake at what I call the 2000 meter board for any corner and hit the apex at around about 15 to 20 miles an hour. I've played the F1 games for many years, and to this day I honestly don't know who zero AI is really for, but I guess for today at least, they're for me. I'm going to be competing against zero AI in a qualifying session, and we're going to keep going until I somehow don't get pole position. We're going to see how much it takes to lose to AI, even if you're pushing flat out. Obviously, my first hindrance I'm going to put on myself is going to be picking the slowest car. We're going to go with the Sauber. We're going to go with Nico Hülkenberg, not because he's the slowest driver, obviously, he is the absolute GOAT. I really like him. I normally race on 105 AI. I know I'm pretty good at this game. But obviously for today we're going down to zero AI. Hopefully I remember to put it back up. Otherwise the K-Strom is going to be extremely quick in my next career mode video. So obviously our first handicap is driving the Sauber, the slowest car in the game. I'll have a nice list on screen of all the handicaps I've had to put on myself to try and succeed in this challenge. But first off, we're going to go for a push lap and just see how much time we have to lose to zero AI. It was an absolutely abysmal lap, but it got the job done, and we're going to take pole by 8.3 seconds over the Ferraris. So realistically, how is Verstappen 13th? We've got 8.3 seconds to lose. Let's get to work. We could start off pretty easy, pretty straightforward. We go for a no setup lap. Again, it was a bad lap from me, but it didn't need to be a good lap. We are still going to go pole. We're going to have to do a lot more than that to lose to zero AI, but it's a starting point nonetheless. No setup and a shockingly bad lap moves us almost 2 seconds closer to P2, but we're clearly going to have to do a lot more. My next handicap, we're going to move to the tyres. Obviously, qualifying normally takes place on the soft tyres. We're going to use our one set of mediums for this qualifying lap. And there definitely was an effect on the medium tyres. I could definitely tell there wasn't as much grip, but still, it's not going to be enough. We're going to go purple in all three sectors and once again take pole position. Somehow Fernando Alonso has gone P2 this time, but more importantly, we're still 8 seconds up on P2. Clearly it was a much better lap from me, and even more clearly, the mediums don't really have a massive effect against the AI. So from this point I knew I had to get a little bit more creative. So we're going to go to our assist now. We're going to do something that I don't think anyone has ever done. I'm going to put steering assist on. I'm going to put brake assist on. Automatic gearbox. And this time the game's going to be controlling me a lot more. So we should see a much more significant increase, or I guess decrease, in our lap time. And can I just say for the record, driving on a wheel with automatic gears, steering assist and brake assist, 1, it's fucking pointless. 2, it's fucking weird. Well, I bet this is something very few people have seen before. It's a hot lap with all the assists on. I'll be honest, it's going to be difficult to commentate because, well, I really didn't have to do much. I was still shifting gears just on instinct, but I had to kind of fight the car because obviously it was picking the gear for me. I obviously didn't have to brake, even though I was braking anyway. I'm pretty sure I was braking after it was braking for me, regardless. And steering, I was turning the wheel. It definitely does do something to turn, but you can't really attack anything. You don't really feel like. I'll be honest, I don't really know how people enjoy having these assists on. As you can see, we're going purple in the first sector, and the second sector is where the AI will always just ridiculously slow. So we're going to go purple in sector 2 as well. It's looking pretty good that we're going to get pole position once again. We've only got the straight to go in sector 3. As you can see, I'm still pushing. I'm using ERS and DRS. The whole point of this challenge was to continue to push on my qualifying lap and lose to AI on pure pace. Unfortunately, it's not going to be this run. We're going to go pole position, but surely that's got to be a significant loss of time, because my god was that painful and just unpleasant to drive. We ended up going pole with a 1:12.5, but we're still 6.2 seconds ahead of P2. On the plus side, I didn't make a mistake, so that was pure pace, or pure lack of pace. We're going in the right direction. This is such a weird concept. So for my next run, we're going to keep the assists on, and I'm going to try something that I probably should have done much earlier on. We're going to stop using ERS and DRS. So into turn number 1, we're going to turn it off as soon as possible. It's quite difficult because obviously the game starts you with DRS open and ERS on, but now significantly reducing my speed in the straights. Surely this will have a pretty big impact. We've gone purple in sector 1. That definitely was an effect, but yeah, definitely not enough to reach the goal we're trying to reach. We go pole position again, but we get our biggest decrease in time throughout this entire video so far. 3.8 seconds to P2. The only problem is we're going to have to think outside the box and get a bit more creative with the handicaps that we can implement on ourselves for the rest of this challenge. So as it stands, we're driving a Salvo. We've got no setup, medium tyres, steering assist, brake assist, auto gears, no DRS, no ERS. Next up, we're just going to make our car heavy. We're going to run full fuel in qualifying. Surely that's got to do something. Other than the assists being added, obviously, I'd say this was the biggest change in handling throughout this entire challenge, and for the first time in this video, we don't go purple in any sector. We go green in the first sector. It's only just. We definitely go purple in the middle sector because the AI are terrible in the corners, but we're going in the right direction. We do not have an all purple sector lap. It's a positive. Who knew adding 70 laps of fuel to a qualifying run would slow the car down so much, but we go pole position again, but that's a very positive step in the right direction, and we've got the gap down to 1.5 seconds. The only problem now was I was starting to run out of ideas for what I could do. Now I could have sat in the garage and focused on making the worst possible setup for Brazil, but I'll be honest, I couldn't be bothered. Funny enough, trying to go slower than everyone else was actually quite time consuming at this point, so I had to go back on one of my handicaps to try and make this car as slow as humanly possible. We find ourselves back in the assist menu. We're still going to keep brake assist on and steering assist, obviously, because my god is that awful to drive with. But we're going to go back to manual gears because it's time we lost some. At this point I was getting desperate, so I thought I'm just going to stop using gears until I lose. Surely it's got to work eventually. It was a little difficult at the start of the lap because obviously we start in 8th gear and it's very difficult to slow down to get into 7th gear, but we managed to do it, and for the rest of this video we won't be seeing 8th gear at the very least. Now the downside of only losing 8th gear was there was only 2 places I was slower than the AI, and the second sector, it's where I was gaining all my time. Losing 8th gear, funny enough, doesn't really hinder you in the second sector of Brazil, so without 8th gear we're still going to go pole position. We definitely lose time in the first sector and the third sector, taking pole position by just 0.2 of a second, but still we need a little more. Maybe, just maybe, losing 7th gear will be enough to succeed in this challenge. Starting our lap with our now 6-speed gearbox, you can see it was really difficult to get down into gear for turn 1 just because I'm carrying so much speed anyway. But as soon as we got down to 6th gear, we will not be going any further. At least that's why that's what was meant to happen. But It's actually really difficult to not instinctively shift up when your engine is screaming. So there were a few occasions at this stage in the video where I just completely forgot what I was actually meant to be doing. So at this point I was fighting the car because of the steering assist, I was fighting the brakes because of the brake assist, and now I had to fight myself and stop myself from breaking the rules that I was setting for myself. It was a very confusing time. You try playing F1 games for 15 years and see if you can stop yourself from shifting up. So attempt number 2 of nothing above 6th gear. We need to find just about 3/10 of a second, so surely this will be the run. It's a very calm center S. I can't really attack center S anymore because of all the restrictions I'm under, but it looks like down the straight towards turn number 4, we're going to stay in 6th gear and we're going to drop all the way down to a beautiful, was that P7 at some stage as we come into the middle sector? We immediately go up into the lead on the exit, but there's no question now, we're actually in the fight, we're not just dominating them. No 7th gear did hinder me a little in the middle sector, but not nearly enough to not go fastest by quite a margin. However, up towards the line, we're going to stay in 6th gear obviously, and this is the point where I started looking in the top left hand corner just to see, will the AI appear? They won't. We've still taken pole with 6 gears, and somehow we've gone faster. Okay, can we actually do this time? We're driving a Sauber, we have no setup, medium tyres, steering assist on, brake assist on, no ERS, no DRS, full fuel, and we're only using up to 5th gear. Surely this is enough to lose to the AI. We've had a brilliant start as we're down to last place, down towards turn number 4. 1.2 seconds behind Hamilton. It's looking good as we come into the middle sector. Through turn number 5 we go at horrific speeds. We're still in 20th place as we come into turn number 6. We barely have to slow down for the corner, but we're going to take it flat out because we're going so slow. Into the braking zone we go up to P19, up to P17 even, up to the top 10. A lack of 6th gear really isn't helping us through this middle sector. Through turn number 10 we go. On the exit we're going to retake the lead in qualifying, but surely that means the AI are going to be right behind me as we come down the final straight. Surely they're going to beat me to the line now. We've gone purple in the middle sector, but we've got a max speed of 151 miles an hour, and we've just got to watch as Max Verstappen finally beats us in qualifying, only by about 300 meters, but we qualify P5. Finally, we have lost to zero AI whilst also pushing flat out, and we did it by almost a second as well. Let's just ignore the fact that the Sauber really shouldn't be in P5. If I was going for a realistic qualifying, I genuinely don't think this would be possible. So there you go, if you're interested what it takes to lose to zero AI. I made a list. It is, you have to drive the Sauber, which is the slowest car. You can't use the setup. You need to use medium tyres. You need to turn on steering assist, brake assist. You can't use ERS. You can't use DRS. You need to put max fuel in your car for the qualifying run. And you can't use 8th gear, 7th gear, or 6th gear. I did actually continue recording after this, just to see if I could legitimately beat the AI with all these handicaps. It was genuinely challenging, because the amount of soul-crushing moments I had coming up the hill to the line, where I thought I'd done it, and then someone's name, most of the time Verstappen, would just appear in the top left-hand corner. But it did fully prove what I've shown in this video. If you want to be competitive with zero AI, for some reason, just do all this. What a colossal waste of time.